seen someone say that a realistic version of Spider-Man would be like Mark, and I just disagree because they have similarities, but they are very different. They both can exist. They both have existed in some shape or form. There are people from around the globe that relate to these characters, or at least relate to certain traits of these characters' character. These hopeful superheroes would definitely exist because of what they represent. Like Peter Parker, he represents hope and struggle. You know how many people can relate to the everyday person's struggle of having to balance school, having to balance work, paying rent, figuring out your social and dating life? How many loved ones has Peter Parker lost? I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that. Dealing with grief, depression, all of that. And to top it all off, still having to live every day and balance all those other lives, and still having to keep going and getting back up over and over and over again. A lot of people can relate to that. I just can't get behind the whole argument that superheroes wouldn't exist, or if they did, they would be a very evil nihilism counterpart, which makes absolute no sense to me. I just refuse to live in a reality that if Superman were to be here on this earth, in this universe, it would be Homelander. That wouldn't even be Superman. Or that a realistic version of Superman would be Injustice Superman. That isn't even Superman. Superman is Superman at his base. Clark Kent, he wants to do good. That's why Injustice is just a version, a depiction of Superman, not the general Superman you see on the news, or you see in video games, or you see in movies, or you see in animation, or you just see in common media. When you think of Superman, you think of the bright symbol of blue and red with the smile on his face, the strong Kryptonian who embraces his humanity. You don't think of Homelander. You don't think of Injustice Superman. When you think of Batman, you're going to think of his no-kill rule. After all the crazy amount of villains he fights over and over again, he chooses not to kill. He chooses to even save and spare their lives, despite the consequences that later creates. A lot of people have absorbed this into their own moral code and philosophy and choose to live their life through this, because life can be hard for everyone. Everyone chooses to carry it and live through it differently.